The DA says it will not be drawn into race baiting and basing its policies on race, even if that costs it votes. The party is facing a backlash over a mass exodus of black leaders, including the former leader, Mmusi Maimane. It's held a policy conference. This happened over the weekend. Today, it announced the outcomes of that conference. Govan Whittles is the eNCA reporter who's tracking this story. Govan joining us live now from the newsroom. And Govan, the DA then continuing to dig in its heels as far as race is concerned. What more have the leaders said today?
Yeah, they're not budging, Tembekile. They've taken the position that they reject race as a concept, although they do recognize that racism does occur, and they don't believe that race should inform the policies and how South Africa or the Democratic Alliance crafts economic policies for South Africa to fix the redress or to fix the inequality created by apartheid. So they believe that there are better indicators which could help them craft policies for economic interventions, and predicating some of these policies on race, the Democratic Alliance believes might be a mistake. Let's have a look at what the head of policy, Govan had to say.
It has to be true for people to do absolutely horrendous things on the basis of their false belief in race. So people believe false things about each other based on people's skin color or whatever it is in your mind that race constitutes of. It doesn't make it real just because people do bad things on that basis. So we will always fight the horrible things that people do on the basis of the false belief in race. So I think that's really hard to answer why you don't need race to be true or racism to be true. And racism must continue to be fought. And actually anti-racism and fighting racism is very much part of the agenda of non-racialism.
Govan, that is Govan Whittles, the DA's head of policy, speaking in general terms then as far as race in South Africa is concerned, but they've now taken the step of removing race-based definitions again as far as economic policies and the much-needed redress in the country.
Yeah, so when it comes to the economic policies, they're afraid that if they include race as a determining factor, it could lead to the same kind of situation that they believe was created by the administration of former President Jacob Zuma. And Helen Zille, the Federal Council chairperson here, saying that there's a real danger that if they predicate their policies on race, they could emulate the ANC's broad-based black economic empowerment system, which the Democratic Alliance has always said has only created a black elite and allowed the looting of the country. Let's have a look now at what Helen Zille had to say.
If you only use race and not all of the issues that Gwen has mentioned, which give you the real indicators of exclusion, if you only use race, you end up with Jacob Zuma, for example, saying he was only applying BBBEE when he ensured that all of his network got tenders and contracts and got into top positions so they could manipulate systems and create looting channels from the state. He was using race, and that's why he keeps on saying he was only applying BEE. And if you only use race, you can argue that. The critical thing is you've got to use the real indicators of exclusion, which are certainly not only defined by race, and if you only use race, it has been used certainly by the ANC as a license to loot.
Let's leave it there with eNCA reporter Govan Whittles giving us updates on the outcomes of the DA's thingy. I'll get the words out eventually. Not the thingy. What Govan was actually speaking to us is the outcomes of the DA's policy conference held over the weekend. There we go. I finally got the words out.